Hi there. Today, I want to talk with you about one particular aspect of Google Calendar that will make you a Google Calendar wizard. Now, hopefully, if you've had any questions about any of your basic skills with Google Calendar, you've had a chance to watch the video by Steve Dotto that I provided for you. I also hope you've taken a look at the link that I provided that will help you understand all the settings for how to get event notifications, how to make sure you're getting a daily agenda mailed to you, how to make sure that you receive invitations to meetings, etc. So all of those things are already there. Right now, I just want to talk about how to create an event on your calendar that utilizes all of the options. So we're going to create an event for this afternoon, and we're going to look at all the different things we can do to that. So I click on the date for today. I get this little window. We'll come back to this at the very end, but I'm going to go to more options because that's what we want to look at, all of our options. Now, here at River Street, we always start by putting in the room that we're going to meet in. And you'll see why we do that in a moment. It helps people know what rooms are being used. And today we're going to have a test meeting. That way I can go back and delete this later and not lose track of it. It is today. It is not an all-day event, so I'm going to turn that off. And we're going to meet today at 1 o'clock. Now, we have stressed with people, make sure you put in the closing, ending time of your meeting, because someone else is going to come along and say, when is room 245 going to be available again? So we're going to meet for 1 hour. Someone else can come along and use this room at 2 o'clock. Event details. If you watch Steve Dotto's video, you already know about the benefit of adding a location. We don't often have to do that here because we all work in the same place, but it might be convenient if you're setting up an event for an outside guest, a parent, an LEA, give them a location, that helps them. Add conferencing, absolutely we want to do that. Do I want to be notified ahead of time? Sure, notify me by, let's say, send me an email 10 minutes before this meeting begins just to remind me so that I don't forget to go. And what calendar am I going to put it on? Make sure you put it on the right calendar. If you're setting an activity that you want to be on the meeting calendar and you want other people to see it so that they don't book the room at the same time, make sure you put it on the meetings calendar. Now, I'm going to put it on my calendar because I don't want to confuse the real calendar here at River Street. All of that's pretty basic. We've been doing that all along, except you might not have been doing the Hangouts meet part. We'll talk about that again in just a moment. But the piece that I really want to focus on is this last box down here. Add a description. In this box, tell people what the meeting is about. Do you have today, if I could type, today we will discuss the new attendance forms. That way, everybody coming to your meeting knows what you're going to talk about. Maybe you even need to say, today we're going to discuss new forms, and have a bulleted list that says attendance forms, sign-out sheets, whatever forms you're going to look at. If you are inviting people to a meeting, say, like Outreach has a monthly meeting that includes some professional development, maybe you want them to read an article ahead of time that you're going to discuss at that meeting. You can link to that article right here. You can put in a link to any website, any article. Tell them, go and read this article, come prepared to discuss it. Maybe you have an agenda for the meeting. You can attach things right here. You can attach things from your Google Drive, from the shared program drives, or you can even upload things from your computer and attach them right here so that if somebody wants to see the agenda for the meeting, they want to link to an article they're going to read, all of the information is in one place right here. It's all about the meeting. So I want to make sure that we are using this hub of information as a way to communicate with all the people who are coming to the meeting. Now, do you want to drive people to this spot on your map? Add them as guest. Start putting in their names over here. Who's going to come to this meeting with you? Who else is invited to this meeting? You put in their email addresses, and then they will be notified that you've created this meeting and that information is waiting for them. These are all things that have been available to us. Why does this simplify things? It puts all of the information in one spot. They get notified here that they've been invited to a meeting. Otherwise, you create the meeting here, then you have to go over to your email and write an email to all the people who are going to come. No, one place, one resource, one hub of communication. You create a meeting here, you send them an email, you've sent an attachment, you want them to read a thing, here's the agenda. Now they've got a meeting scheduled on their calendar, but they've got information for that meeting over in their email. Let's keep it all in one place. Now, let's talk about two specific things that we haven't touched on yet. One is the Hangouts meet. What does that mean? That means someone can attend your meeting who's not in the room just because you've opened this up to them. So if you have a staff member who is out sick for the day or who is out for some reason and can't be in the room with you but wants to be at the meeting, you can flip open a laptop, join Google Meet, and they're in the room with you. Maybe it's a parent who can't attend a PPT, but they could join from home, or maybe they could even join from their workplace if they took a break and were able to join in that way, even though they weren't able to take the whole day off. They can join in the meeting from a distance. That's the beauty of Google Meet. Last thing, the rooms. This is a new feature, only available at River Street, not at Birkin. Sorry, guys, but you guys don't have quite as many meetings as we do, so we're just starting it here. Rooms can be chosen on the calendar. So I want to say, well, we were meeting in room 245. I'm going to pick that room. Now, that's a big room. It tells you right here, it seats 65 people. This lets you know how many people are seated in each one, but I'm just going to be consistent and pick that room. Now, because I have scheduled my meeting from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, if anyone else comes along and tries to pick a room, 245 is no longer going to be on the list. They know it's being used now. There's no chance for conflicts. They're seeing the available rooms, and 245 is not on that list. So that's a way to lock down a room just for you. Now, I want to stop and talk about this for a minute. We've had some conflicts about scheduling two rooms at the same time, because when you go and look through that list, it can be confusing. Here, I'm going to get rid of these names. I don't want to send information to them just yet. But if I came over here to look at today, I'd have to look through and say, when is 245 being used? Oh, look, 225 is being used at 11. Maybe I could use, but when is that meeting end? I've got to click. I've got to go. Okay, so they set it to end at 12. All right, so you can see, you're doing the math. You're trying to make sure you've seen every little room number in there. Much easier if you go to create an event, you want a 1:30 meeting. I'm going to meet at 1:30. What rooms are available at 1:30? And there they are. Room 245, not on that list. No more conflicts with rooms. Now, this will work for us going forward. This is a long, slow burn to get to where we want to be, because we have so many events on our calendar that are already scheduled where rooms were not locked out. So if you start setting things up today in this way, what we're really hoping is that as we create events in the future, more and more of the events on the calendar will be scheduled in this way. We will have fewer and fewer conflicts as a result. It will take a while before we get to the point where every event on our calendar is scheduled appropriately. But I'm sharing it with you guys first, because you guys put a lot of meetings on the calendar, and so a lot of this responsibility is going to land in your lap for making sure that things get scheduled correctly. And we're just trying to add as many things as possible to help that happen. All right, so let's go back to the meeting that we have scheduled for today. Where's our test meeting? There it is. If I click on it, I can see all the important details. I can see what we're going to talk about. I can see who the organizer is. I can join the Hangouts meet. All that information is right there. I can even respond. Am I going? Yes or no? I'm going to go back to the editing page so that we can continue to talk about that for a moment. because since I had to kind of delete some names in there, I didn't get a chance to show you the last thing that I wanted. So I'm going to come back and pretend that I'm going to add Jay to this meeting for a moment. Once you've got everything done the way you want and you go to save it, that's where it says, would you like to send an invitation email to all of your calendar guests? That's where Jay gets the email that drives him right back to this spot so that it's easy for everyone to get to the same place, to get the same information, to come to your meeting fully prepared. I'm not going to send it because I don't want to alert Jay to a fake meeting. But that's an overview of how you can use that hub to create a lot of information for staff who are coming to your meetings. Now, two final notes that I want to share with you. One, we did turn on the opportunity to have a Google Hangout. I could click right here and I could go to Hangouts Meet. And if I did that, it would tell me there's no one in the meeting yet because I am way early for a 1 o'clock meeting. But it would open it up. I'm ready to join. All I would have to do is join the meeting. I would be video conferencing with other people in that activity. But too early for that. Another thing that I can always do is I can just always check my Meet tab, meet.google.com. This is the hub for all their video meetings. It will always show you meetings that you are scheduled to attend today. If I click here, I'll still get the message that I'm the only one there. This is also where I could just start a new meeting. Quite often when I need to chat with Andrew down at Birkin about some tech stuff, we just jump in here and talk with each other rather than back and forth with email or text messaging or whatever. We can just come in and talk. He can share his computer screen with me if he wants to demonstrate something. I can share my screen with him. Google has a great video conferencing option. Yes, we've used GoToMeeting. Yes, we've used Skype for Business. All of those things are out there. We can use them. They have more features, but we just don't often need those features. So this is the quick and easy way to get a video conference going right from your calendar event. The final thing to show you, and that is when I'm scanning through here looking for my meeting, if I don't know when it is, I really have to kind of read through until I find, oh, test meeting. There we are. My meeting gets lost in the list. So I want to show you one final thing you can do to make your meeting stand out a little bit. Now, if I'm scheduling for the whole school, I'm probably not going to stick it right in the front. But if I'm just putting something on my calendar for me, I'm going to stick this right in the front so that it stands out. But here, I'll stick it at the end. And that is, I can just throw in some quick emoji. Boom. And now, when I go to look through all of the events, oh, it hasn't updated yet. It'll take a moment. Let's see if I can go back and kind of force it here. Up, it didn't stay. And sometimes that happens with this little emoji adder here. Okay, are we going to stay this time? Let's see. Oh, don't want to send anything. Oh, there we go. As I scan through, that big green check mark stands out to me. It's easy to look at the list and find my events, the ones that I want to key in on. So when I'm scheduling a meeting, an activity, whatever, I'm going to throw in some emojis. It makes it easier to find my items on the list. All right, that's it. That's taking your Google Calendar event and making it more than just something scheduled on the calendar. This is a hub of communication. It makes it easy to get people involved in your meeting. It makes it easy to invite them. It makes it easy to share with them. It even makes it easy to extend your meeting beyond the walls of the room so that other people can join in from a distance. If you do all of these things, then you truly are a Google Calendar wizard.